Hey everybody, welcome to your Monday Morning Market Minutes. My name is Adam Kitt, the Singing Realtor, along with my partner.
Noel Fielding. I am your super secret special agent armed with my license to sell.
Love it. Hey everybody, it's been a couple weeks since we've been able to come to you and bring you
It's
what?
been so busy.
I know, it's been crazy. So we are actually broadcasting, not live. We're recording today from our new office space here at the Quality First Real Estate offices in Clovis on Shaw and Minnewawa. And we've been blessed by our broker to have this amazing space together to share, where we can collaborate much more efficiently and just getting a ton of stuff done. So we're super excited about that. But it's been a process with all of the work we've had moving in and getting all set up that we just neglected you guys, and we really apologize. So
Technical issues, computer problems like you wouldn't believe. I mean, bad stories, bad stories. So this is episode 6, A New Hope.
A New Hope, yeah. we Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
Yeah. No, seriously, we're super excited. We talk about crazy busy. Aside from all the other stuff, we want to just give some shout outs, and just give you a little updates of what we've got going on. We still have our cabin in Shaver that's still listed. We have a beautiful house in the Clovis Foothills in the Auberry area. We have a new condo out on Barstow at Fig Garden Loop. What else do we have going on?
Well, we've got 3 or 4 escrows closing this week, so
Yeah.
lots of, and we just wrapped up one the other day too.
Yeah. We're anyway. We've been pulling out our hair, so to
Me
speak.
more than him.
Yeah. But yeah. So let's get to our topic of the day. We don't want to spend too much time just shooting the breeze. Today's Monday Morning Minutes. Top 5 things you need to know when buying a house. We work with lots of buyers on a regular basis, and we've come across a string of commonalities between some buyers recently, and we wanted to bring you some as more of an educational thing rather than some sort of a warning for buyers. But we wanted to hit it right here with number 5. No house is perfect. It's hard to believe, I know. But sometimes buyers go in with the mindset that when they buy the house, it's going to be completely perfect when they move in. And that's just not the reality. In fact, the contract itself, the Residential Purchase Agreement, the RPA, stipulates right in there that all sales are by default as is. And so it's really a matter of mindset. You're going to try to look for a high quality house, but understand that no house is perfect, which leads us to number 4.
17 days to inspect. So with the idea that these homes aren't going to be perfect, and listen, every buyer's a little bit different. Their expectations, some are very happy just to be in the market to buy a house, first time home buyers a lot of times, and some have had some experiences, so that expectation of the quality of the house is there. So remember, there's a 17-day inspection period, which is boilerplate language. Actually, we have the ability to stretch that period out a little bit or shrink it down a little bit as is appropriate depending on the size, shape, condition of the house and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
but by default, the contract says you have 17 days to fully inspect the house.
and the top 3 inspections that we always recommend, and some people do and don't do all or some of them or any at all depending on the situation, but there's always going to be that pest inspection. This is one that I'm a big believer in, especially if it's an older house.
Absolutely.
Even one that you can walk in an older house and it's been flipped, renovated, and it looks fantastic, but the bones are what you're concerned about. So you
Right.
want that pest inspection to assure the quality of those bones.
Exactly. All right. What else? What other inspections do we need to do?
General home inspection, number 2. That's number 2 on my list. These are, for me, I'm looking for deal breakers
Yes.
in a general home inspection. Is there some problem with a foundation? Is it a post and beam kind of construction where things that you might find in that undercarriage of the house are a big deal? But you'll find everything from light switches and outlets that aren't working well to maybe some dry rot, which is again post inspection thing also. But they're going to help find these things and make you aware of it, and you're going to decide at that point, is this a house that I want to fix, or do I need to get out of this deal?
Right. So within that 17 days, if you determine that the house is no longer suitable for you, you are free to walk away with absolutely no recourse at all. The only, I guess, risk you might take is if you actually paid to have the house inspected. It's money out of your pocket, but it's well worth it to know for sure if this is the house for you. Leading to number 3, negotiations. Number 3, negotiations. Well, what do you mean negotiations? Well, after all what we call the material facts are known, meaning you've had it inspected and you know what's going on with the house, and the seller has also disclosed to you everything they know about the house, you have the opportunity to then request for repairs above and beyond or what was found. And so those could be like, hey, one of the windows is cracked, we want it replaced before the close of escrow. It could be something like, hey, the air conditioning wasn't running as cold as we'd like it recharged before the close of, it could be something like, could be, hey, replace the GFCI outlet in the garage.
So remember,
$15.
when you do these negotiations, though, it's just that. It's a two-way street.
Exactly.
Just because you're asking for it doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Exactly.
So they may say yes, no, or maybe so, and come back with some type of compromise. So it opens that dialogue back up, and it is going to go both ways. And some people are, well, let's say you want to be very cautious about what you ask for. You over ask in a seller's market like today, they might just say, you know what, forget it, we'll just go on to the next one. And it's no harm, no foul.
Exactly.
And so be careful, I guess, what you're asking for. I mean, I wouldn't want to nitpick something.
As your advisors, as your agents, it's our job to look out for your best interests. But part of that is also advising you on what might be reasonable and realistic to expect. And, things like replace the roof. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, no, not in this market at all.
Yeah, and so, just be cautionary, eyes wide open that no house is perfect. When you request repairs, the seller is not required to do any of them. But hopefully in best interest for them to sell the house and their own pride of giving you a high quality product, they'll most likely fix a lot of the little things.
Yeah.
All right, and what's number 2?
Number 2 is this goes to the general search. I'm looking for my home, and I think it's really important that, again, we talked about this in episode 3 a little bit. Is this my home? Is this an investment? If this is your home, location, right? What matters to you as a buyer? So, I think before you even start the search or start us on the search for you, it's really important for you to kind of come to grips with some of that stuff.
Exactly. Like, do you have kids, right?
Right.
I mean, if you got kids, where they go to school is probably really important to you. Do you go to church someplace? Do you have to commute to work? Do you have a lot of friends and family in a particular area? All those influencers are going to be really important for you to just determine right up front.
Yeah. So not just what school, but how close can I get to this? We have sellers that we know right now that on a regular basis they walk their kids to school, and that's part of their life. They have one car, they walk their kids to school. Great, that's what they want to do. That's the way, and they put themselves in a position to do that.
Exactly.
So it's important to know that that's who you want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
So location is probably one of the most critical things you can do. But after that, you need to kind of narrow down. Make a list of like 7 to 10 things that you want in your house, right? And you want in your house. And then I always recommend just cut it in half and narrow it down to what you have to have in your house. Because in this market, as a seller's market as it is, the inventory is really low. You don't have necessarily the liberty to be as picky as you'd like to be.
Right.
So your have-tos will be like, how many bedrooms and bathrooms does it need to have? How big does it need to be? Pool or no pool, maybe. That might be a big deal, Solar or no solar. That's a very common thing as well. But narrow those down to your have-tos, and let us go to work and try to make sure we get all the have-tos and as many as the wants as possible.
Right, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And when that happens, that leads me to number one.
Number one.
Do it now, baby.
Do it now.
Do it. Do it now. Come on. I've experienced this very recently, and lots of times, and buyers are loving a house. It's checked off box A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and maybe even a couple extras, and they're super hot to try, and then all of a sudden they're disappearing, and they are in the process of writing an offer and not completing that offer because there's some trepidation, they're inexperienced maybe, and they're nervous about going forward. So understanding that the inspection period and all these things, that's the time to think about it. If you think it's right, first of all, your first instincts are probably right.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, you have that window. This is when you want to, even before you pay for an inspection, go home. Listen, once the deal is yours and you're in contract, now is the time to go home, talk to mom, dad, brothers, sisters, your wife, your friends, whatever you want to talk to, and really make sure that you've made the right decision before you start spending money on inspections.
Now, this advice is framed within the fact that we are in a seller's market.
Right.
We discussed this in episode number 3. It's a seller's market. What that means is that for every house that's out there for sale right now, there are 3 to 10 buyers looking to buy it. And that means that you don't have the time or the freedom to just kind of piddle around.
You don't have that luxury.
The luxury. You don't have the luxury. That's the word I was looking for. Thanks.
Yep.
You don't have the luxury to just wait. And so we recommend be the first to see it, be the first to write the offer, and be aggressive with what we call throwing paper at your home buying process.
Because really, that's all it is. And now it's electronic paper.
Right.
With that being said, so we send it. You digitally sign it. We send an offer to the seller's agent. They accept it, or we go into negotiations. The worst case scenario is you're going to at some point put a deposit into escrow. But that's still your money, and it remains your money until you release your contingencies. And that's the only time you have the subject to liquidated damages.
Right, well, and that's what the 17 days are for. They're for you to fully vet the house to make sure that it is for sure your house. Now, listen, we want you to fall in love with your new house. These are just strategies that we employ on a regular basis to help our buyers actually be able to buy a house, because there's so much competition right now. It's really, really difficult.
So I think one of the end message for me is, and what made me start thinking about this subject matter in the first place, was that you're going to find out everything you need to know about the property after. We start with, do I like it? Do I love it? Am I writing an offer? I've had a million buyers ask me, well, how old's this? How old's the air conditioner? How old's the roof? We don't know. And we won't necessarily know that up front unless we happen to be the listing agent on that too. And sometimes you've got that misconception that we know everything about every single house. We don't. And we don't do the research up front.
Right.
Because for any given buyer, we're talking 20 houses that we'll look at. That's hours and hours and hours. So keep that in mind. We're going to go out, and the first goal is to find a house you like in an area you like, and then if you love it, we're going to solve all the problems after the fact.
Exactly. All right. That wraps up our top 5 things you need to know when buying a house for this week. Just a couple of house items for us. We have a brand new website. We want you to go to it and check it out and give us some feedback. It's www.kfhomesales.com.
Yep.
We also have a brand new phone number, which is awesome. It's a group phone number.
559-235-9022. we weren't able to get one with our like name in or anything
Right.
like that.
My
but-
personal one is 284 Kit, which is just kind of cool.
Isn't that clever?
Isn't that pretty awesome? But
See, I have like 7 or 8 letters in my last name, so that wouldn't work for me.
yeah, just Fielding doesn't work.
Yeah,
Doesn't have anything that started with.
There's nothing. That would be a bunch of
yeah.
random numbers.
Anyway, hey, that's all, folks,
Don't
for this
forget
week.
to subscribe below.
That's
and,
right.
And if you need any of our information, it's on the slide to follow.
Thanks so much. Have a great week.
See you next time.